Dean Basilia, Jonathan Rodriguez, TJ Positive Lives Matter McAloon, best of the best, TexasHighSchoolFootball.com. Let's get started. Last Friday's game of the week saw Allen destroy Denton Guyer 42-7. The defense held the Wildcats to 192 yards of total offense. What were your takeaways of this game, Dean?
That Allen's defense is as good as advertised. They haven't given up more than 20 points all year. It's a good team. And their two losses have been to DeSoto and now Allen. I think Allen's for real. I think it's gonna be tough in region one with Allen and DeSoto.
Allen, what else can we say aside from they're the complete package? They're the total package. If you want to go a step further, their offense is on point. Their defense is stymied. It's hard to find a flaw in this team that it could trip them up later on when the playoffs start in about a month.
Everyone on Allen scored on offense. Quarterback Mitchell Jones, it was a touchdown fiasco. Quarterback had 2 touchdowns, one in the air, one on the ground. Theo East and Greg Tisdale connected on a touchdown. Brock Sturgis had 2 touchdowns. So it's like when you go to the park and you're playing a bunch of 6th graders and you have, your recreational guys are just scoring on everybody. It was nothing much to go for from Denton Guyer, 42-7. What else do you expect?
DeSoto did the same thing to Guyer. So, can you really say that, Allen is a better team than DeSoto because they both did the same thing to the same team?
Think back to 2 weeks ago when we saw Lake Travis and Westlake. They rolled upon the same common opponent leading into their big matchup or whenever they came into when they both played. Lake Travis was able to shut down Westlake's number one guy. Allen's defense, as suffocating as they are, giving up only 95 points through 6 games this season, 7 games actually, my apologies. They could do the same thing, eliminate DeSoto's main weapon of choice and be able to just put the game out of reach before halftime.
We know that DeSoto has the Allen curse. The past 4 years, Allen's been able to knock off DeSoto in the playoffs, but I'm going to have to repeat what people have been saying the past 4 years about DeSoto, that this is finally their year. You look at Katy Nixon, we knew he was how his status was going into this year. It was already a rising star, and it's only increased throughout the season. And Sean Robinson, I know TJ said to stop Sean Robinson, but I don't think anybody can stop Sean Robinson because we've seen what he's done throughout the season. And DeSoto this year on offense is just ridiculous. You saw what they did to Cedar Hill, and I can only imagine they're expecting to do the same thing to Allen.
TJ's favorite team, the Katy Tigers, beat Morton Ranch 68-9 and have beaten opponents a combined 213-23 in a 4-game winning streak. Are the Katy Tigers back? TJ, go ahead. The floor is yours.
No one knows as much about Katy football as I do. I talk to people, they're all thanking me for the praise I'm giving them, and for the article I wrote about 4 weeks ago when they were 2-2 that sparked this winning streak. Trust me, I know Katy football. They are thanking me for this great winning streak that they're on, and they're huge, and they're going to go far until they hit the playoffs, and they'll probably fall flat in the face like they did 2 years ago, not last year.
What a flip-flopper. All right, Dean, go ahead.
If you look at their previous histories, half the teams in the district have never even beat Katy. Cinco Ranch has beat them once. Katy Taylor hasn't beaten them in 24 years, I think it is. Katy Creek's never beat them. Seven Lakes has never beat them. Morton Ranch has never beat them. And they just roll over the district like they're supposed to. And so, you got to take it with a grain of salt that, this is what they do every year.
4-0 in district play, you look at the district, there really is no one that competes with them, just to piggyback off Dean. And their only 2 losses were on the road against the Woodlands and not Lake Travis, it was Alston Westlake. TJ, of course, made a bunch of friends with Katy in their school and whatnot. But with me, I don't think Katy ever went anywhere.
They might as well. They're going, if they do, they'll be their 3rd straight year playing in at that final game. So, what's up?
5 in a row.
5 in a row. Like I said, no one knows more about Katy than I do. You say 5. Polls haven't come out to show that's true. You're probably going on a media bias against everyone else who says it's only 2.
I say they go as far as the state semifinal appearance, and I think you can call it a day, call it a great Katy year. I'm not sure TJ has something to say about that, and possibly even D. But to me, no. All right, we're on the same page.
5 straight finals, as Dean just said. 5 straight finals. If you make the state finals, why is that a good season then? Why consider that a good season if you make the semifinals? If your bar is so high, why accept anything less than a state final or a title?
Well, the way I see it is that if you lose to Westlake and the Woodlands, are you really a state contender? Even though those are competitive teams, but if you lose to those two teams, can you even really be considered a state champion at that point?
The defense is really young. They lost a lot of people last year, and so I mean, you expected some growing pains. So I just got to see. You went through the growing pains earlier in the year, and so I think the Cinco Ranch game was the first game that all 11 starters on defense played back-to-back games.
Moving on to college. Big 12, the conference rules not to expand. Are you all for or against this decision? Jonathan.
I'm against it. I really thought Houston and Cincinnati were going to come in and route things up a little bit. But I really want to see the Big 12 go back to it and, create more of a playoff atmosphere instead of this 10-team format they have, and just to shake things up, because right now the Big 12 is a mess, and they could honestly use all the help it gets, whether it comes from Cincinnati, or BYU, or Houston.
Do they really need a reason to bring in 2 more teams?
Yes. Because it needs to be 12. Why would they name it Big 12 and not have it be 12?
Okay,
It's the Big 10 with 14 teams.
That's
14
silly.
teams, yeah.
It's all silly.
And with bringing in Houston, you don't really bring in a new market because Texas owns all of Texas. So it's not like you're bringing in a big market with Houston. And there really wasn't a perfect team to bring in. And I think if you brought in one team, you had to bring in another. And maybe with Houston, that was the closest to a perfect team. But then who's the other one?
TJ?
So I'm going to have to agree with you on this one. There was no need for an expansion. As you pointed out, Houston, you are a core Texas market. If they would have added Cincinnati, you're not overtaking the Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky markets just because Ohio State has that corner. You're not going to even come close to even touching what Ohio State has in terms of football and that entire tri-state area.
So what did you all think about Red McComb's comments about Oklahoma and Texas disappearing in the mist?
They should just bring back the Southwest Conference.
Yeah. The Super Conference is what I remember was rumored back whenever the Longhorn Network came out in 2010, I believe is when it was. Well, they were just going to add UT, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, and I think I forget some of the other schools that were going to be moved into this, or some of the more Western ones like the Arizona's, USC's, and just have one dynamite super conference rather than a Pac-12, a Big 12, an SEC, and just make 4 of those and just go wild with it.